Must-see games on the home schedule next on this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Gallant from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. Right now, of course, make sure that you check out my new radio show. Of course, that's everywhere on Odyssey, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m. I'm previewing the Pacquiao-Barrios fight tomorrow morning. And he is Chris Gallant, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and Collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Now, coming up on today's program, later on, a former VGK head coach is off to Russia. WTF is that? And, of course, we'll have What the Friday. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today and use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll receive $20 off of your first purchase. Our top story, of course, we want to talk more about the VGK schedule, which came out just a couple of days ago. And Chris, what are some of the top VGK games that the fans cannot miss at T-Mobile Arena? Of course, numero uno has to be the Mitch Marner game against his former team and the Golden Knights versus Toronto, and that should be fun. And I think the big controversy now, no morning skate for Mitch Marner because the team will be playing on the road against the Kings the night before these two teams meet on January the 15th. But that by far is the marquee game of the season here.
The funny thing about that is now the Toronto media can't ask him over and over how it feels to be back and all the typical fluff questions that you would get and everything. And I mean, he'll likely be made available after the game unless just something weird happens. So they'll get their chance to get a couple in on him then. And that's that. I'm looking forward to maybe more of a family tradition. October 31st, of course, that's the Nevada Day game. And obviously that falls on Halloween this year as well against the Avs. We as a family have gone to the Nevada Day game every game since season one. So I think that's just kind of where I start. And obviously the Colorado Avalanche will be a Stanley Cup contender. So it should be a good game.
I also want to see VGK against Los Angeles anytime. Of course, they will play early in the season, opening night, and this will be fun. The Kings, a good mixture of youth and veterans on that team. Here's something quirky about the schedule, though. The game that I think a lot of fans want to see, VGK against the Edmonton Oilers, will not happen until March the 26th at T-Mobile. What?
Hey, you can play in Tony when they play too early in the season. Now they're playing division opponents down the stretch, so you can't have both ways.
Okay, these two teams, your perhaps top two teams in the Pacific Division, play twice. What? This is so rigged. I had to say that because people are keeping count. So they'll play on the 26th of March. And then they'll play April 4th at Edmonton. WTF. I don't understand that. It could be the top two teams in the Pacific Division. They play twice, and their first meeting is in March. This is, again, the NHL just blows it repeatedly with scheduling every season. Why are two divisional foes playing only twice and not until later?
Well, they always only play twice, number one. They play 3 or 4 divisional teams play each other 3 or 4 times per season is how that works out.
Correct. But
this year they got the Oilers 4 times instead of 3 like last year, I believe. Not mistaken.
Right, but why are they only playing twice this year?
No, they're
counting right?
They're playing 2 times here, 2 times in Edmonton. That's 4, Tony.
What's the date of the first? Did I blow this? What's the date of the first game?
The Golden Knights are in Edmonton on Saturday, April 4th, and they are in Edmonton somewhere else in there. But the point is they have 2 home games against Edmonton.
No, I went through this, man, last night. Seriously. Did they only play them twice?
No.
WTF. Go ahead.
Yeah, Saturday, April 4th is one of the games.
That's what I said. And
And then they have 2 home games in Vegas, March
And
8th, March 26th.
okay, so I missed
And Sunday,
March 8th.
Sunday the 21st, they're in Edmonton, so that's actually 4 games. Sunday
So
the
all in
21st of
March.
December.
So all in March. How did I
No,
blow this?
no,
The 21st of what? Never.
December.
Okay.
Back to
All
back,
right.
Cal, Gary, and then Edmonton. So
I
there you go.
blew that one. I blew that one. Nonetheless, you need to see VGK against Edmonton.
All 4 times. I'm looking forward to just a couple of games I got marked here. November the 8th against the Ducks. Ducks obviously are a team that are rebuilding, like a hybrid rebuild. You got some players coming up through the draft, and obviously you've got a lot of moves being made. It's the former New York Rangers via Anaheim Ducks. So we'll see how the Ducks shake out this year. Of course, goaltender Lucas Dostal, 6.5 million AAV. That kind of came out of nowhere. So that's yeah, we'll see where how that shakes out. November the 28th, Montreal, another team that is up and coming, and the Habs are going to be trouble. Like, I don't think we're obviously in the West, so we don't see the Montreal Canadiens a lot, but the Habs are building something that's going to be trouble for probably a decade to come through the draft, and they can still do some trades with all their prospects and draft picks. So that's a team that I think 3 years from now, that's the measuring stick of the NHL. San Jose Sharks, November the 29th, another team that is building, not necessarily at the same pace as the Habs, but of course, Celebrini, Will Smith, et cetera, et cetera. So many young players to see. And then one more I got, December the 29th, Minnesota Wild, coming off of the playoff series. You saw some games get a little heated between the two teams. So you wonder if there's any carryover from the playoffs when the Wild come in late December.
Okay, how did I blow that other one? Okay, VGK versus Nashville, New Year's Eve.
I was researching the wrong topic this morning before the show started, so
that's okay. We're good. It's WTF day. Again, Nashville, the Preds come here 12 noon on New Year's Eve, drunk by 2 p.m. Jonathan Marchessault, Nick Hague, trying to prove that the Predators had a fluky season a season ago.
They did.
And yeah, they're going to try to get back on track. And is Zach Brown at the Sphere that day? Maybe they'll take him to a show there. Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
No, the New Year's Day, New Year's Eve game is always a ton of fun. Again, another tradition. Me and Chris normally go just for that one, but nice day game, nice and early on. So a lot of fun to get in the Strip and get the heck away from the Strip as fast as possible. It brings back memories when I worked a couple swing shifts at Bally's in Planet Hollywood. That was that's a fun time to be around there. I circled the Oilers games, both the home Oilers games, and then the Leafs game, and then March 28th, Capitals when Logan and Ovi come back. And what kind of season is Ovi going to have? Is he going to be on pace, like trying to get his 50th goal by that game? I mean,
he looked like a chunky old dude, like working out. Like
he's looked like that for the last 15 years, though, Tony.
No, this time, I mean, yeah, I think we'll see what kind of skills he has. He's so sneaky good.
He's got a couple of skills still.
There's nothing that vodka cannot cure with that guy.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I really screwed up my dates here. Monday, November the 10th. Is that right? Defending Cup champion Florida. Twice over defending Cup champions. And Brad Marchand will be here with Florida. And that's as good as it gets right now anymore. How good is that going to be versus Cassidy? And again, the guy that you want, he's great if he's on your team. You don't want to play against him at all.
He's not even that bad to play against. Like, I think people overdo his radisms, if that's a word. If not, we're going to use it today on WTF Day. Another day, it's kind of has my attention. Lesser opponent, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, when they come on January the 8th, that's a team that's also building very, very well. You got some vets in there, and obviously a lot of players coming up through the draft. That's a team that was in the playoff hunt until about game 80 of the regular season. I mean, I like seeing the teams that we don't research a lot. You know, a lot of the teams from the East and stuff, kind of see how they're building, and a lot of great stories with Montreal and Columbus, and of course a little higher up with teams like Florida and Washington
and Nashville. Nashville's
going to be okay this year. I don't know if they're going to win a cup, but they're going to be okay. That's not what happened last year's not happening again.
Coming up next, we've got former Golden Knights head coach Gerard Gallant headed to Russia to coach in the Continental Hockey League. Back with more right after this on Lockdown Golden Knights. We have all been there, logging on early and waiting forever to get concert tickets, waiting for them to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show that you've been dying to see. Live music should be all about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping, and that's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets, even those for Coldplay, faster and easier than ever before. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save up to 60% off with the killer last-minute deals. If you're tired of endless scrolling, trying to find the best deal, Game Time's zone deals pick the best seats in the house in your section for you. If you've ever wondered what the view will actually look like before you buy your tickets, the app also has this panoramic view, seat view, so there are no surprises. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today. You can buy concert show tickets, and this is the place to be right here in the entertainment capital of the world, sports and entertainment capital of the world. So go to Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Use that promo code LOCKDOWNNHL, $20 off of your first purchase. Again, go to the Game Time app. Use the promo code LOCKDOWNNHL, $20 off of your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back on this shaky edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. A little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the summer schedule, I think, finally caught up to me. I mean, we're only supposed to be doing three shows a week now, according to the big boss. And this will be our fourth show of the week. But we got to do this every day to stay. How could I say Edmonton would only be playing VGK twice? Okay, so former Golden Knights head coach Gerard Gallant is headed to Russia to coach in the Continental Hockey League, and that is according to TSN's Pierre Lebrun. Not known what team he will be coaching, but again, why would someone like Gerard Gallant take a job like this?
This is as KHL as KHL gets. This is from your NY Post here. The headline: Former Rangers coach Gerard Gallant headed to Russia for mystery KHL role. That's a wonderful start. And then just looking at some of his stats here, like this is interesting. 21-22 with your Rangers, 52-24-6, and then they upset the Hurricanes that year in the playoffs. Following year, 47-22-13, 107 points, but they went out against the Devils in the first round, so that's obviously bad. And all of a sudden, boom, he's out.
Akira.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a job since. So what's being said? I mean, in a league where there's so much coaching turnover and a league that employed Spencer Carberry, for crying out loud, as an NHL coach, how does Gerard Gallant not have a regular gig? Like, what's the word on him, like behind the scenes? Does everyone just friggin' hate the guy? How many people did he piss off in his time with New York, in his time with Vegas? And like, these are, I don't know. It's surprising to you. And maybe he doesn't want to coach in the National League. I can't imagine that. But with all this turnover, it's so surprising. It's so surprising. A league that just brought Joel Quenneville back. How does Gerard Gallant not have a job?
Right. And what team is he going to coach? I suggest the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl. I think he should be the head coach there. What's it going to be like for him with all these Russian players? And I have to believe, no, I'm just saying I have to believe that Gallant, when he was fired here in 2020, despite taking VGK to the Cup, I think that he did not see eye to eye with the Golden Knights front office. They wanted him to hide a lot of things, and he was just a transparent guy. And I think that that's when they started to butt heads.
Gallant and Cassidy, I think, have a lot of parallels as far as how they discuss the team through the media. There's a lot of honesty. I think the difference comes with Gallant, where it's like a brutal honesty. I still remember there was a press conference where I forgot specifically what happened, and a media member brought something up that was discussed in the locker room after, a bad spell, a bad game or something like that. And Gallant, who said that? And the response was they wouldn't say who, but it was, someone. And then Gallant was like, "Oh, player, typical." Like he was livid, he was pissed. And
Oh
I
yeah,
get that. Like
he couldn't hide his emotions.
no, you couldn't. And Cassidy, I think, has learned a lot of what he should and should not do with the media through his time with Boston, and he's improved tremendously. He doesn't bust roll the players nearly to the degree like he did when he was with the Boston Bruins. So Gallant, yeah, I could see Gallant not seeing eye to eye with any front office, let alone the Vegas Golden Knights front office, which certainly is maybe a little bit I'm trying to think of the right word right now, but they're a little more uptight maybe than most front offices in the National League. And but how do you, like, I don't know what Gallant's history is. I don't know if what his comfort is going to Russia. I don't know why he's going to Russia. Like, does he go there for a season and try and get back? Like, I
Tries to
know
get
this is
back.
yeah, I guess, but this is a much lesser scenario. But you look at what Sheldon Rempel did, went to the KHL for a season, did okay, but he comes back on an AHL contract. I don't even think it's an NHL contract he got with the Capitals and the Hershey Bears. So I don't know. I mean, you would think Gallant may work his way back up in the American League as an NHL assistant, go to a university for a year. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's better ways to work your way back in, and maybe the pay is lucrative to go to the KHL. I have no idea, and I'm sure that's not exactly public knowledge.
Yeah. So Turk, aka in Russian Tarak, is going to be headed to the KHL. He's going to the KHL. That's the big news today. VGK did, in fact, rub it in when they hired a guy that Gallant had called a clown as his successor in Pete DeBoer. I mean, that was as petty as it gets, to be honest with you, because there was just a huge controversy between the two coaches. And again, the thing about Gallant is you're supposed to just stay in your lane as a head coach. No, he was just too honest, I felt, for this and perhaps for the Rangers organization.
With Gallant, you have to, I mean, playoff success is how you measure a coach. End of story. Regular season means absolutely nothing. So let's start with Gerard Gallant, that Game 7 situation against the San Jose Sharks. Number one, what people don't even like to talk about is the fact that the Golden Knights were up 3-1 in that series. That's your first problem. You can't close the door. You got a home game, Game 6, and unfortunately, Marc-Andre Fleury led in a real fluky goal that game in the second overtime, I believe.
Lake Ave.
Yeah, it was borderline that, sure. And then, of course, the comedy of errors that occurred in that Game 7 with the Cody Eakin, not a major penalty and everything. Gallant couldn't stop the bleeding. He didn't call a timeout, didn't get the right situation out there. Max Pacioretty was out there on the kill for one of the goals. Like, that's what I see when I think about Gerard Gallant as far as why he's no longer with the Golden Knights. I don't look at the call as why the Golden Knights lost that series. I'm 100% that series loss is on Gerard Gallant. And then you look at what happened with the Rangers, right? 107 points, bows out round 1 to the New Jersey Devils. And so I get it. Playoff success is what matters. But in a league that employs so many coaches with questionable results and people who haven't won many big games in the playoffs. I mean, what's Pete DeBoer done? What's Pete DeBoer done in the playoffs besides fail his entire career? Mm-hmm. Is Gerard Gallant the coach that Pete DeBoer is? I'm not saying that, but there are so many teams that, are bringing up first-year coaches from the American League and stuff like that. And all these, I mean, why isn't Gallant an assistant in Edmonton to put some pressure on Knobloch? Like, these are all questions that I ask.
Assistant job.
Maybe he doesn't want an assistant job. Maybe he's a head coach or nothing. I'm a head coach or I'm going to Russia.
Or bust, however you say bust in Russian. And, you talked about VGK blowing the series lead here. In that first round loss of the Devils, Chris, I don't know if you remember, but the Rangers were up 2-0 in that series. So they put him in a cab, and it's not very far, from New York City to LaGuardia or what have you. But, yeah, I think they just
And this Florida Panthers firing was suspect too. And it's Bust in Russian is spelled Byust. So Bust.
Bust. All right. Coming
Sounds like a
back,
topic.
WTF or Bust. Stay with us right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back. Our Russian is really poor. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Gallant from Las Vegas. And again, we appreciate all of our everydayers, all of our good friends tuning in around the world. WTF. Why do I have WTF in lowercase? WTF.
Piantinista is how you say Friday in Russian, just so you know.
Okay. You need the whole phrase, though, with the Friday.
I'm working on it.
Okay, so WTF. This is according to the Dasco sources. Wow. So VGK this past season had forecasted and budgeted, Chris, to make it to the third round of the playoffs. I repeat, in sports, how do you budget to make it to the third round of a season, especially with the roster that the Golden Knights had out there? Especially with this roster, how could you possibly forecast something like that? Thus, we heard about the harsh words that were said in the aftermath of falling out of the playoffs and losing to Edmonton in the second round. I don't know how this organization could be so cocky, if you will, as to predict with that stinking roster that they were going to make it into the third round. Now, I never bought into that. That is pressure. That is extreme pressure on everyone. And I don't understand it. So not only were there harsh words, but in the aftermath of falling to Edmonton, folks, the Golden Knights laid off 20% of their workforce because we budgeted 3 rounds of the playoffs. This is unbelievable. It's based on performance. How could you possibly forecast that? So people lose their jobs because of the team's performance this past season. And I think that's a major, major WTF. I'm sorry. I came out of the chute kind of heavy today.
No, that's fine. And, a couple just reactions to that. And one, I don't know how any team, forget the Golden Knights in their roster or the Oilers or the Panthers. Like, I don't know how you set up a budget based on projected success in the postseason. That just seems like a interesting business model. Now, in the same breath, Bill Foley sets unreasonable expectations and exceed them. One of my favorite business quotes. So somewhere in that world, a roadmap to success for the year is planned out. And when it doesn't happen, things change. And there are some higher ranking public facing staff members that have had their positions eliminated. This is on Twitter, easy to verify. And then we've also seen another job title change for Kerry Buboltz as well. We don't know if that's tied to that, but point being is, yes, why are, jobs of, people who have nothing to do with the performance of the team, why does that hang in the balance? I don't know. And that's a strange way to operate. Cheeto Totpinista, I think that's what the Friday in a very bad Russian translation, unfortunately. So that's what I got.
That's good. WTF. I had to. VGK is going to budget the same way this season.
Well, it seems to be better. They're probably going to budget for the Stanley Cup to make up.
They might. WTF. You just touched on this earlier, but Lucas Dostal avoids arbitration yesterday, signs a whopping $6.5 million AAV with the Anaheim Ducks. Adin Hill, yes, he has some issues, but how is Dostal worth more money than a proven Stanley Cup champion? WTF.
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, he's also paid more than Adin Hill, and Adin Hill is there's a lot of questions to be asked as to what that Dostal contract looks like and everything. And it'll be, I think Dostal certainly has the pedigree to lead that Ducks team. And John
Okay.
Gibson off to Detroit as a result. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing. I'm looking on YouTube here.
You have some good ones, WTFs. I've got some here. Let's go to X first. Yeah.
We're on our
Okay.
show. Marner checking out here. Thank you for quenching. Here we go. Trev Light, thank you for quenching the hockey void in the dog days of summer. I like that.
That is good. We're quenching it.
ESH, blah, 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 a bunch of letters. You only have to look at Marner's playoff history to see how well he performs late in the series. I guarantee you will not like what you see. No, I am not a Leafs fan, by the way. Not leaving LV.
We're also going to see the rest of the Golden Knights team in that third round. When all the pressure's on, they're going to choke it. Nobody's going to score goals. Go ahead.
Not leaving LV. How many goals does Austin have in the playoffs? Point at someone and three fingers point back at you. And then someone comes back, Leafs win, says Matthew says 28, and Marner has 12. In 20 games, that consists of 5 games and 7. Marner has 0 goals. So, oops. Bro checks out every April. That's from Gorgeous George. And J Manny 88 Willie, as in Willie Nylander, greater than Marner. And Landshark 6897 says Vegas first round exit. G Waves C8P. Who cares? He's gone. He's a wimp. Bye. And then someone asks if that person passed elementary school, but you're a Leafs fan. And typical poop show that is social media when people start arguing.
Oh, come on. This is great. Are you kidding me? I'm going to get ripped for WTF, the Edmonton games, but who cares?
Like, get more for your first WTF than that, but we'll see.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to get some heat. Let's budget into the third round. WTF. This is from Douglas Fromm.
Hey, we budget to the third segment at least.
We did budget into the third segment today, but we missed the first segment, so that was bad. WTF. Tony thought that VGK has a tough schedule. Never thought I'd see the day. WTF. Well, I say that I've done nothing here but be honest about everything, good and bad. And I went through the schedule and I missed a couple of Edmonton games, WTF. But I still say it's the toughest schedule. The honeymoon is over in season 9 as far as scheduling goes for the Golden Knights.
Speaking of honeymoons, I wonder if that person at that Coldplay concert and the HR person. I'm so mad. I was thinking about it. I always wake up, a little bit before we start recording. I really will probably put enough research into the show today. And I was going to have a bunch of Coldplay songs lined up and just keep throwing them throughout the show, In My Place and Higher Power and Clocks and Fix You and Scientist and The Sky Full of Stars. I was going to go ham on that whole situation, but WTF, it's 27:45 into the show. And I just remembered I was going to do that. And I forgot to. So Don't panic.
We've got E-Runs, WTF, VGK at Toronto on a Friday night. I thought the Canadian Constitution mandates that the Leafs always play on Saturday nights. That whole scheduling thing is Friday'd up. It really is. I mean, they really screwed that up against.
It should have been a hockey night in Canada game.
They should play 4 times. They should play 4 times.
That should have been hockey night in Canada. I mean, I don't care about the fact that the Golden Knights can't do a pregame skate and day of game availability. That's whatever. I can give a Friday about that, but it should have been hockey night in Canada. That's a must-see TV game, and the NHL puts their games. Look throughout the what's it called? Look throughout all the team schedules. It's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday league.
Right, and another major WTF is VGK. Both of those games. They play a back-to-back where they come in late, no morning skates, okay, and no Marner madness there the day of the game. Like after the game, good luck trying to catch up with Marner. Good luck. This is something I feel that was orchestrated by the Golden Knights, by Foley. Yeah, we don't want our guy to talk to people up there.
The hardest part is letting someone go, and every teardrop is a waterfall up in Toronto right now. And Marner got out of there in the speed of sound. There you go. About 4 Coldplay songs for you.
Every teardrop is like Niagara Falls up there. That's not far from Toronto.
That's Buffalo too, though. That's fair.
Okay, that's Buffalo. Okay, one final one here on the way out. VGK_fan for life. Leafs fans, make up your mind. Either he underperformed and you're glad to see Marner go, or he was a great player and he's a traitor for leaving. You can't play both sides of the fence. WTF. I like that one. We appreciate all your comments.
Symbol, but it's the family show, so I'm just going to say, okay.
You say, what the Friday?
Yeah, what the
right?
Friday?
You can't say that. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much. We'll be back again on Monday. For my man, Chris Gallant, Tony Cardasco reporting from Las Vegas. And we'll see you next time right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Please take care.